Welcome back, subs, to our very first episode of gameplay. I'm going to be going 1v1 against one of my friends in my friend group. His name is Camden. Camden is going to be playing Isshin, and I'm going to be playing Zaxara. So let's jump right into the gameplay. Camden is going to start off by playing a tapped Bloodfell Caves and gaining 1 life. I will draw a card and play a tap land myself. Moving right back to Camden, he's going to be playing a bounce land, bouncing back his Bloodfell Caves. I'll untap and draw. Playing a swamp for turn, tapping 2, 4, and explore. I'll draw a card, and then play a forest. Camden untaps and draws. He plays a mountain, tapping into a commander sphere. Passing the turn back to me, I will tap 3 and play Nylea's Intervention. I put 1 into the X looking for any 1 land in my deck, and I just settle on choosing a Path of Ancestry. Tapping 3, he then plays Captain Lannery Storm, which has haste. Attacking me for 2, I have no response. I take 2, and Camden makes a treasure. Passing back to me, I untap and draw. I tap out for a Sky Shroud claim. Both of those forests come into play untapped. I use those 2 untapped forests to then play a Gyre Sage. I pass my turn back to Camden. Camden starts his turn by tapping 3 to play Isshin, doubling his attack triggers. Camden continues his turn by playing one of his new cards, Windcrag Siege, and choosing Mardu. He picks the ability that's the exact same as Isshin, which now all of his attacking triggers an additional time. He now creates 3 treasures, and he passes back to me. I draw a card, and then play my commander, which triggers Evolve on Gyre Sage, putting a +1/+1 counter on it. I finish off by tapping the rest of my mana in Gyre Sage to play Growing Rites of Itlamok. I look at the top 4 cards of my library, and I select Sakura Tribe Elder to add to my hand. And then I pass my turn to Camden. Scared for my life, he taps out and plays Goldspan Dragon. And oh boy, I am in trouble. He is going to be creating a lot of treasures. I take the damage, and now his treasures sack for 2 mana of any color. He then plays 2 creatures, the first being Alicia, who laughs at fate, and Coastline Marauders. If I can't do anything, I'm surely going to die, so here's to hoping. I draw a card, I start tapping a lot of my mana, and then I play Curse of the Swine. I basically exile all of his creatures, leaving behind 2/2 green pigs. Because that was an X spell with Zaxara on the battlefield, I will be putting a Hydra on the battlefield that has 5 +1/+1 counters. Camden lets this spell resolve, and all of his creatures get exiled. I tap Gyre Sage and then play Sakura Tribe Elder, and that's where I pass my turn, transforming Growing Rites of Itlamok into basically a Gaia's Cradle. Camden starts his turn by playing an Arcane Signet. And then surprisingly, he passes the turn. On his end step, I sacrifice Sakura Tribe Elder and finding myself a basic island. At the beginning of my upkeep, he plays Crackling Doom. I sacrifice my big 5/5 Hydra, and I take 2 damage. I start my turn by drawing a card, and then playing Rampaging Yao Guai. I hope I said that right. I put enough mana into it, which was 5, to be able to also create a 5/5 green Hydra. I select my targets, which are all of his treasures, his Arcane Signet, and Windcrag Sage. In response, Camden sacrifices his Commander Sphere, trying to find something off the top of his library, doesn't find anything, and has to get rid of all of his ramp. In my second main phase, I tap Gyre Sage to be able to cast Traverse the Outlands, which my biggest creature on the battlefield is 7, so I will be looking for 7 basic lands. When I go look for those, Camden takes his turn by playing a tap land and passing. I start my turn by attacking with my Rampaging Yao Guai and my Hydras. I start to count my mana, and then I play Bounty of Luxa, and I finish off the turn by casting an Elemental Bond, hopefully drawing into some more cards and finishing the game. Camden untaps his lands, draws a card, and not having any white mana, passes the turn back to me. I draw 2 cards, put a counter on Bounty of Luxa, and I start my turn by casting Trusty Old Soul Ring. I continue tapping my mana and cast a Herald of Secret Streams, now giving all of my creatures that have counters on them basically unblockable. Swinging my creatures, Camden takes the damage. With the rest of my mana, I tap out to cast Exsanguinate, where X is equal to 18, not only creating me an 18/18 Hydra, but draining my opponent for 18, and I gain 18 life. I draw because of Elemental Bond, and with nothing else to do, I pass my turn. Camden draws a card, taps to play Explorer Scope, equips it to one of his pigs, and swings it at me, flipping into a swamp, which is not a plains. That's the best he can do. I block, killing his pig, going back to my turn, and then finishing the game off by casting a Profane Command, winning the game. Looking back at this game, it was extremely fun. I loved being able to see what Isshin was able to do and the modifications that Camden made to the deck. It was very aggro at the beginning, just being able to set up a whole bunch of different cool pieces. I think that Camden made a mistake by sacrificing his Commander Sphere, just his only white source to be able to basically cast anything. But I understand that he was looking for a way of being able to protect his board, which he didn't end up finding, just leaving me in such a commanding position to be able to just overwhelm him with card advantage, a whole bunch of big creatures, and being able to have a ton of mana to be able to cast into my Exsanguinate and my Profane Command. It was honestly super fun being able to play this game. Thank you so much, subs, for watching the video, and hopefully in the future you'll be able to see more gameplay, hopefully more 1v1s as well as 3 and 4 pods. So see you next time.